Les damos la bienvenida a nuestro próximo panel, Comunicación que Conecta, una sesión imperdible donde exploraremos cómo llegar de manera efectiva a las nuevas audiencias a través de distintas plataformas y formatos. La sesión comenzará con una presentación en español a cargo de Juanita Gómez, Video Director de Grupo Semana. Luego daremos paso a un panel de conversación compuesto por Lucía Ugarte del Campo, CEO y TV host de Chicas Guapas, Kili Antonio, Marketing Director de Superior Brands Group, y Eduardo Picasso, Commercial Director para Latinoamérica de Pinterest. Ese panel será en inglés. Para quienes lo deseen, nuestro equipo estará pasando con los dispositivos de traducción simultánea. La moderación estará a cargo de Roberto Ibáñez, socio de Grupo Ohla. Bienvenidos y que disfruten esta sesión.
Juanita Gómez, directora de video de Grupo Semana. Juanita Gómez es periodista y directora de video de Semana, con más de 14 años de experiencia en contenidos periodísticos y digitales. Ha liderado coberturas de temas políticos, sociales y ambientales y suma más de 1.4 millones de seguidores en redes sociales con contenido noticioso y de opinión.
Hola, buenas tardes. Es un gusto para mí estar acá. Es la tercera vez que estoy en el Summit. He venido como periodista, he venido como espectadora y pues esta vez vengo a contarles un poquito de mi historia y de lo que está pasando con Semana, que es este medio de comunicación. Esa foto que están viendo ahí, blanco y negro, soy yo hace unos años trabajando para uno de los medios de comunicación más importantes en Colombia. Me veo feliz, me veo un poco mayor, pero ninguna de las dos. Ni estaba feliz, ni me veía tan aseñorada, como dicen en mi tierra, en Colombia. Esta es la historia, y esta es la que les vengo a contar, de cómo la audiencia dejó de esperarnos, y nosotros, los periodistas, tuvimos que salir a buscarla. Yo soy Juanita Gómez, soy la directora de video de Semana. Eso significa que todos los videos digitales que publicamos en las plataformas y en las redes sociales de este medio de comunicación pasan por mí. Básicamente lo que nosotros hacemos es informar, pero sobre todo lo que más queremos es podernos conectar con la audiencia. Mantener esa conexión que además los medios tradicionales cada vez están perdiendo más, mientras los usuarios se relacionan y se integran con las redes sociales, los creadores que están ganando cada vez más terreno. Los medios de comunicación están en una crisis evidente, los medios además globales. Lo sé yo, lo saben ustedes, hay algo que no está funcionando, la información ya no logra suplir las necesidades que tienen las audiencias, el tono suena distante. Pasa también que los usuarios incluso deciden cómo, qué y a quién seguir. Incluso se está poniendo en duda la objetividad. Y eso es muy importante y más adelante lo vamos a ver, cada vez cobra más relevancia la voz propia. Esa voz que te cuenta las historias de otra forma. Desde ahí y a partir de ese momento es que se empieza a generar la conexión. Yo me doy cuenta que esto está pasando y digo, ok, los medios básicamente lo que están haciendo es que están operando con lógicas del siglo XX y las audiencias tienen lógicas del siglo XXI. Luego ahí hay que hacer un shift. Y parte básicamente de una curiosidad propia. Y ahí es cuando yo empiezo a probarlo en mis redes personales. Y ahí lo que hago es, ok, si el tono es distante voy a hacerlo cercano. Ya no se trata de el preciado líquido, es el agua. No es el dinero, es la plata, como decimos en Colombia. No es dos vehículos colisionaron, no, son dos carros que se chocaron. Y desde esa coloquialidad empecé incluso a poner muy fuerte ahí mis posturas, porque no se me permitía tampoco opinar, y eso era lo que no me permitía tampoco estar contenta en ese trabajo anterior. Luego, el tema de la postura es bien importante. porque no hay ningún pecado en tener una postura. Lo más importante es ser transparente con ella, que los usuarios la entiendan, que se sepa qué esperen de ti. Porque al final, y esto es bien importante, pues las audiencias tienen claro, y todos deberíamos saberlo, que detrás de cada contenido periodístico, por supuesto, hay una visión específica, hay un tono específico. Entonces lo pruebo y me doy cuenta no solamente de que está funcionando, porque decido aplicar además todas estas lógicas digitales, empieza a pasar algo que muchos no han querido ver o no quieren ver incluso hoy. Y es que los jóvenes entre los 18 y los 25 años sí quieren informarse, sí quieren opinar, sí les interesan los grandes debates, sí les interesan las grandes noticias, sea cual sea. El problema es que no se está contando para ellos, no se está llegando a ellos. Y hay algo más importante, son más políticos que nunca, quieren tomar muchísimas más posturas. Sí, puede que no voten o no vayan a las elecciones, pero sí asumen unas posturas muy puntuales sobre su futuro, sobre cómo ven la vida. Y esto empieza a ser muy relevante, porque no solamente quieren ser audiencia, quieren ser parte de la conversación. Comienza a funcionar y es así que en 2022 se da esta gran oportunidad en Semana. Este medio de comunicación, uno de los más importantes en Colombia, apostamos para crear una unidad de video con un equipo muy joven, un equipo multitask. Yo digo que somos como geeks digitales. Y lo llamo así porque no se trata solamente de hacer videos y ya, sino que realmente estamos pensando en cómo proponer una nueva narrativa digital, cómo contamos las noticias de otra forma, qué están haciendo los medios tradicionales para no seguir esa línea, incluso volvernos completamente disruptivos y seguir otra línea. Para que se hagan una idea, nosotros los periodistas de esta unidad nos autopercibimos como creadores e influencers. Y digo que somos multitask porque hacemos guiones, hacemos producción, sabemos de edición, sabemos de SEO. Hay un montón de lógicas y dinámicas que estamos siguiendo para poder lograr este objetivo, para poder realmente enganchar a la audiencia. Esos que están viendo ahí, como algunos videitos y todo, son como algunas de las muestras. Los invito a que entren a las redes sociales de Semana y ahí los pueden ver completamente. Estas son algunas de las periodistas con las que trabajamos. Y decimos sí, somos influencers con criterio, porque al final pues mantenemos todas las características de un periodista. Hay credibilidad, hay ética, hay veracidad en lo que decimos, pero tenemos voz propia. Y eso es muy importante. Y para que se hagan una idea de incluso cómo estamos operando hoy y cómo es que conformamos esta unidad, los editores, los que editan nuestras notas, se sientan todas las mañanas en una llamada creativa con los periodistas y así definimos cómo es que vamos a contar los videos y cómo los vamos a construir. Y cómo se va a ver ese video y cómo va a arrancar, cómo es el gancho, cómo es la estructura, qué es lo que queremos decir, qué es lo que queremos también generar. Son casi como, para que se hagan un símil, como creativos de una agencia de publicidad. En términos generales, lo que empieza a pasar es que nos bajamos del pedestal, los periodistas de esta unidad, y nos movemos con una consigna que es muy importante, y es: la audiencia no nos debe nada. Todos los días tenemos que salir a buscarla, a conquistarla. Y somos tan buenos como nuestro último video. Esa es una verdad y punto. Y este es un ejemplo. Caterina es una periodista que trabaja con nosotros hace un mes. Y a la semana estaba publicando este video y tuvo más de 7 millones de visualizaciones orgánicas. Luego es un formato que funciona, que conecta y que está probado. Hasta acá, hasta este punto, eso es como lo editorial, lo periodístico, lo noticioso, pero teníamos otro gran desafío. ¿Cómo vamos a monetizar? ¿Qué vamos a hacer? Esa es una discusión pendiente, eso todavía está en marcha. Lo que nosotros nos hemos planteado como reto es: Listo, vamos a monetizar y vamos a comercializar nuestros videos, pero ¿cómo hacemos para no venderle nuestra alma a las marcas o a los clientes? Lo que entendimos es que todas las marcas y todos los clientes tienen una historia para contar y que si eso se hace con el criterio suficiente, con la mejor selección de esas historias, si lo haces pensando en generar realmente una conexión, pues va a funcionar. Y no riñe con el periodismo, porque al final nosotros no nos vamos a vender por una pauta. Al final nosotros vamos a tratar de construir las mejores historias posibles y nos entendemos incluso con nuestros clientes como aliados. No es un negocio en donde tú me dices que tu mensaje es el 50% de descuento. A nadie le importa. Eso a nadie le importa. Ni el 2x1. No le interesa a la audiencia. Interesa más que tengas posturas. Interesa más que me cuentes qué estás haciendo detrás de, o por tus empleados, o por tu país. Y por eso lo digo y aparece ahí publicidad que no se le da skip. Es súper importante porque por eso lo planteamos como historias. Lo que sí no queremos nunca es tener ese tipo de video en donde literalmente tienes el mouse puesto en el skip esperando a saltártelo. No es la hora de saltártelo con el celular así, esperando a darle cambio. Lo que les decía, entendemos a nuestros clientes no como clientes, sino como aliados. Este es un ejemplo. Es de Lulobank. Lulobank es uno de los bancos digitales más grandes de Colombia. Decidimos hacer este video y el gancho arranca, el video arranca diciendo: esto es lo que los bancos no quieren que sepas, como que les estás pagando por tener tus ahorros ahí. Ese video funcionó muy bien. Tuvo más de 1 millón de visualizaciones orgánicas, no fue pautado. Y el fin de semana que lo lanzamos, sábado y domingo, tuvo entre 15 y 20% de aumento de descargas. Funcionó muy bien. Eso es, digamos, como el objetivo que tenemos. Ni por pauta, ni por views, la credibilidad no la vendemos. Y sobre todo, no queremos hacer basura. Hay demasiada información, hay demasiado contenido, hay demasiados mensajes comerciales, hay demasiados creadores, es un bombardeo muy fuerte. Por eso nos preocupamos tanto porque los clientes con los que trabajamos entiendan cómo son esas reglas de juego y que esos mensajes comerciales pasan a un segundo plano y sus historias, sus valores importan más ahora que nunca. ¿En qué estamos? Pues millones de views no son suficientes, lo que más queremos es poder crear una comunidad, poder tener un impacto real, grande, ¿no? Fuerte. Yo creo que lo importante de todo esto es entender a estos nuevos medios, en este caso Semana, como un gran ecosistema que no solamente está apalancado en las redes sociales, sino que se va conectando con foros y eventos, incluso con la misma página web de Semana, incluso con la revista impresa, y que funcionen como todo un ecosistema que se va apalancando el uno con el otro. ¿Y hacia dónde vamos? Esa es una pregunta grande y abierta y todavía la estamos transitando y caminando, pero Semana tradicionalmente ha sido un medio que le ha dado visibilidad a voces muy fuertes, a periodistas con carácter. Ahora lo que estamos haciendo es construir un hub de creadores como algunos de los que estaban viendo en los videos, en donde pueden hablar de cualquier tema, pueden tomar toda clase de posturas, que entienden muy bien lo que está pasando y se les da una gran visibilidad. De hecho, en todos los videos aparecen sus nombres, su cara es visible. Y creo que el otro gran punto hacia el que estamos transitando, y nos dimos cuenta también después de la pandemia, es que el online es muy importante, pero el offline también, muchísimo. Y hacia allá estamos ahora encaminando los esfuerzos, tratando de entender, incluso en espacios como este, cómo más podemos entregar valor, no solo online, sino offline. Y al final, lo que estamos haciendo y lo que hemos entendido en Semana es que el periodismo no está muriendo, está mutando, está cambiando. Y que si aplicamos las lógicas que deben ser, y si aplicamos las estructuras que están funcionando, pensadas para esas nuevas audiencias, pues puede ser mucho más poderoso que nunca. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Juanita. Invitamos a Roberto Ibáñez, Lucía. Adelante, por favor. Eduardo y Kili.
Lucía Ugarte es conductora de televisión, productora y fundadora de Chicas Guapas TV, reconocida plataforma de lifestyle dirigida al mercado hispano. Impulsó la creación del Fast Channel Chicas Guapas en colaboración con Otera, con base en Los Ángeles y Miami. Es autora del libro Yo Jefa y profesora invitada en la Universidad Católica Argentina, UCA, y en Florida International University, FIU. Kili Antonio, Marketing Director, Superior Brands. Kili Antonio nació en el mundo del comercio minorista. Sus primeros recuerdos están ligados a pasillos de supermercado, demostraciones de producto y a aprender de primera mano lo que se necesita para construir marcas duraderas. Como directora de ventas y marketing en Superior Brands Group, Kili ha contribuido al lanzamiento de productos innovadores en algunos de los retailers más grandes del país, gestionando relaciones como parte de equipos de agencias líderes y desarrollando programas de marketing experiencial que conectan directamente a las marcas con los consumidores. Eduardo Picasso, Commercial Director, América Latina, Pinterest. Eduardo Picasso es un destacado estratega de negocios con una sólida trayectoria profesional de más de 15 años. A lo largo de su carrera, ha desempeñado roles clave en reconocidas empresas como Procter & Gamble, Google, Xaxis y Facebook. En la actualidad, ejerce como director comercial en Pinterest para Hispanoamérica, liderando iniciativas estratégicas que impulsan el crecimiento y la expansión de la plataforma en la región.
Bueno,
Okay,
lo
great.
que quedó.
Deja vu.
Yeah, thank you for waiting for us. Let's see. Well, you know, to pick up where we left, we were talking about the current consumer, and Kili, I have a question for you. You know, the point of sale is one of the most decisive moments in the relationship between a brand and its consumer. From your experience, how can brands take advantage of this space to communicate effectively and create a memorable experience? And also, what makes the difference between a shelf that simply displays products and one that truly connects?
So the point of sale we see every single day, but when you can put a live person, a human, to interact and not only just be there presenting the shelf or the display or the gondola or whatever it may be that's there, an end cap, but to actually have a stage, right? To interact, to ask them questions, to learn a little bit more about their life. And maybe there's a phrase that the brand is using to really call in whoever they're targeting, right? So one of the examples is we have a soda brand that we work with, and one of their phrases is soda that you won't feel bad about. So how many of us have heard, you know, soda's bad for you, you shouldn't have it, or whatever it may be? And so to have a phrase like that, it's really speaking directly to the person that's felt guilt about drinking soda. So to speak to them with phrases that add value rather than just a promotion, but to tie into the emotion of guilt and to pull that out of them so that they feel comfortable when they consume or purchase your product.
Yeah, amazing. And well, we're working together with Grupo Ohla.
Yes.
Doing exactly the same thing.
Exactly,
So, yeah,
yes.
Yeah. So now we're going to go into storytelling. And Lucia, I'm going to start, with you. Question: many brands look for content creators to amplify their message, but they don't always understand the value of building a narrative together. From your experience, what's the key to creating an authentic and effective collaboration between brand and creator, beyond just following guidelines? And what common mistakes do brands make when working with creators?
Well, for me, the biggest mistake is to reach the creators directly and don't think that they are only one piece in your strategy, in the digital communication. So it's only one part of the digital ecosystem. And overall, you have also a communication strategy. So if you go directly, I want to reach United States and reach a creator, and you don't have a plan of your communication, not only digital, you have to plan the store, you have to plan also the flying activations, you're going to miss out. So usually you reach the creator and you don't have any specific plan, and that's the worst. And secondly, you reach them like a media outlet, and they are co-creators. So you have to be open to work with them. They have an authentic audience, they have a specific voice, so you have to develop with them a specific campaign to reach your goals. So first of all, have a good overall strategy, because so often they come without any strategy at all. They come only, okay, I want an influencer, but for what? You want to sell, you want awareness, you want a video campaign. Okay, what do you want to add? What value they're going to add in your overall communication strategy? So it's good to work with professionals that are working in the current market or the market you want to reach, because they usually already work with influencers, creators, and believe me, they are not all the same. There are a lot of professionals, there are some that they are not. It's like when you hire an employee in your company, you do a background check. You check their consistency, their responsibility, so you have to really take time to reach the creator and also to reach and do a really specific creator campaign.
And smaller brands normally tend to go directly to the creator,
Yes,
right?
to save money, but
to
it's
save money.
worth. You're going to waste money.
Waste money.
Yes,
Exactly.
it's so often.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
often happens.
Yeah,
Unlikely.
exactly. And you are a communicator, an influencer, and an entrepreneur. And from this triple role, how do you decide which brands to work with and represent? And what are the audiences looking for in someone like you? And lastly, what do brands need to offer to be relevant in your community?
It's so funny. For example, today I came here and I'm producer. I was director of a streaming channel, but I work as professor. And Fernanda said, "You're an influencer." You know, come on, I do a lot of things. But at the end, I think that if you're really good in your personal branding, your communication, you're going to be influencer. But everybody's an influencer in your community, with your brand, with a friend. Exactly. So first of all, we have to think that influencer is everyone. And if you don't have budget to do a big influencer campaign, you can start with your employees. They are already talking about your product. They are working for you. That's most important. So you have to really take care of them. You have to also maybe start campaigns with them. This is one of the biggest trends right now. Yeah. They're working with influencers in your own company, your employees, and also your vendors. So that could be great to start. And in my case, in Chicas Guapas, we really take care of our community. We don't have, for example, any ads in the website. That's a decision. It's anything. We don't want to sell traffic. We want to do branded content, real organic. We also don't have fixed rates. We do customized campaigns. And everybody says to me, because I'm the CEO, "You're wasting money." And I say, no, I don't want to sell like sodas. I want to sell like really meaningful campaigns, yeah. Positive exactly. Impact. Yesterday, we were working with Neutrogena about Melanoma Awareness Cancer Month. Yeah. And everybody was crying because really you can save lives with that. And it's not a joke. You really you can take responsibility with that. And it's about meaningful impact, ethic, what you're driven through. I have a mission, I have a purpose. So you as a brand, you can work with creators that have the same values as your brand. So you have to really take care of your campaigns and what you're looking for.
I love it, having the purpose. We were talking about purpose
yes.
before. So I completely, feel represented by what you're
Thank you so
telling
much.
us. Yeah. Eduardo, in an interview, you mentioned that Pinterest aims for users that want to transform inspiration into reality. So content doesn't remain just digital, right? How do you ensure that inspiration crosses the screen and transforms into real-life experiences?
Definitely. As I was saying, that's Pinterest's mission, to make our users live the life that they love. So it means that it's not only on the screen, it's actually go out from the app and get the things that you need for plan a wedding, to make a recipe, or to get an outfit. So that's the whole idea. So in this case, we created a platform again that it's full funnel. So brands can give an awareness message or have a performance campaign. And the idea is to take advantage of this intent. And also in other keynotes, they were talking about the experience. So talking about like shopping, we want to bring back joy to shopping, because sometimes e-commerce can be very flat. Like, here are the options, a couple of clicks, go to put in the shopping cart, credit card, and you will get in a couple of days, you will get your product. So the idea also with Pinterest is bring back this joy of shopping to with the platform, because 50% of users are coming to the platform to find new products and find new services. And also it's very interesting because at the end the idea is for us to help them to shape that like very vague idea into something more tangible. 96% of the searches in Pinterest are unbranded. It means that the users don't have a clear idea of what they need. So the idea, I mean, in Pinterest, they shape that idea and they create it, and they create a real life concept. No, so that's how we, with content, help users to pass from inspiration into action. And if we can connect that last mile of having someone seeing a piece of content and then on a couple of clicks, like, get it, that's also the purpose. One of the goals is to make like most of the content in Pinterest shoppable.
Exactly. And when do people turn into Pinterest, right? When do they decide? How do they decide that they have to use Pinterest? How do you reach your audience?
It's because they want to do something. Again, the intent part is very, very important. So if you have a project, sometimes you take out your phone, go to Pinterest, and start to shaping that idea. It could be like a big event, or like something that will change your life, like maybe remodeling a room in your house for like a new member of the family, like getting an outfit for your graduation, or something more of the day-to-day, like a recipe for lunch, or something that can like then turn into a whole business after like a phrase.
100%.
You know.
And in the near future, your positioning is going to be kind of the same, or is there any changes along the way?
So it's the same. Something that we are leading is that we want a more positive internet. We're leading, for example, not the initiative, but we are the first big tech that is supporting phone-free schools.
Yeah, we're talking about.
For example.
Yeah.
So those are I mean, that's kind of what we're working also in the part of content, on making content more shoppable, but also in making a more positive internet. We are not going to be able to do by ourselves. We need the whole industry to join us on that effort. We're starting to see.
Do you think it's
good
possible?
results.
You know?
It is.
It is?
It's possible.
It is.
Because we were talking about mental health yesterday and how important it is. So
Specifically, we have some initiatives for the younger generations. That's what, and specifically that's what is also motivating myself, because I think that I'm in the right side of history right now, where I'm also helping the industry, but also I'm on a place where I can leave a better internet for my kids.
yeah.
My kids are going to be, are 100% digital. So we need this kind of effort.
Exactly. Lucia, branded content is enjoying a moment of popularity, right?
No.
But also of saturation, as you were mentioning. As a content creator and co-founder of Chicas Guapas, how do you determine when a brand truly has something meaningful to contribute to your community, and when is it just seeking for visibility?
For us, it's not about visibility, it's about value. We ask, first of all, to the brand what he can bring to the conversation, he add value, and we constantly trying to make the audience to feel great, positive, to teach them, to be with them, to listen to them. That's the most important, what they want. So we're trying, when the brands reach us, maybe they don't know. I know that they are stressful to sell, to do reports, to, I don't know, they have to do report to CEO, etc. So we work side by side with communications team, PR departments, and we said, okay, stop. Maybe this is not the path. Maybe we have to do an activation, like a talk, especially about mental health, and maybe your product is going to be accompanying the conversation and giving value to the community. So we're trying all the time to think out of the box, and believe me, it's not about budget, because of course, we cannot compete with soda budget maybe sometimes, but if you're creative, you can really stand out there. We were working with Hugo Boss, Victoria's Secret, Tresemme, major brands here, and we are doing amazing things for the community, US Hispanic mostly, because that's our audience, and we're all the time trying to think differently, and brands, luckily, they are trying to accompany the audience, and not only the influencers, the audience, the people who are seeing the show, the TV show on air, the people who are reading a post. So they come to the events, and they really connect with the brand in the other side, in the other way.
Yeah. And going to the content creator, there are content creators that are more effective than others, right? Why do you think some influencers struggle to influence, audiences to buy brands, to interact with the brands that they represent?
It's a win-win. Sometimes you have brands that only want to bring, or influencers that only want to win. So it's not, you have to win-win. We both have to win. Influencers have to get paid, or creators, and also the brands want to sell and reach marketing goals. So I think we have to build a bridge together to really connect with them, connect with the brands, and be authentic and listen each other. When you listen each other and develop a creative strategy and work with professionals in each market, that would be a difference. I hear the before panel, the Hawaiianas, he was saying, we try to reach all the US. It's impossible. US is the most diversified market in the world. So for example, we internally, we really work, for example, with Brazilians in the US. And maybe I was hearing the Hawaiianas director, and I was thinking, okay, maybe for them could be great if he start with the Brazilian campaign in the US, because they already know the brand. And then you can expand with the Latin American market, because they are already big over there. At the end, you can reach the American market, but you have already a cash flow to do maybe big advertising. So you have to really think how to reach, and each brand and each community and each demographic is really diverse. So you have to be really strategic. You don't need a lot of budget, but you need the correct people.
Right. So going back to the point of sale and the physical interaction, Kili, when we talk about communication, we often focus only on digital, like today, you work directly at the point of sale. So tell us, how does a brand communicate in that space? And what strategies help it stand out in such a competitive environment? You kind of mentioned it before, but,
I would like to tie in the digital aspect here, because I think for me, if I'm going into a store and I am going to buy something, someone's sampling something, or I'm seeing something on the shelf and there's a display, in my mind, if there's another part of my brain that's already been touched by the digital aspect, I already feel even 1 point closer to purchasing that item. So I think the consistent messaging throughout, let's just say, for an example, I am following an electrolyte drink, and I follow this runner that really, uses this, and I see their lifestyle, and they're hydrated, and it's like, I want that. I want to feel that. And that's already touched a part of my brain. Now I walk into the store and someone's sampling this electrolyte drink. It's another part that's making me more comfortable to go, I want to purchase that. And now let me learn about the features and the benefits. So I think it's consistent messaging all across before you even get to the point of sale. How many times can you touch the consumer, whether that's through influencers, whether that's through an activation, an experience? And then when we get there, there's nothing to sell. You already know you want to buy it because it's been in the back of your brain. You just maybe haven't had the opportunity to purchase it yet in person.
I'm sorry, also, where is the consumer? If you're talking about electrolytes, you're going to runner clubs. Here in Miami, in the US, there are thousands of that, so it's better to be involved.
Yeah, so we're seeing consumers more and more interacting online and then going to the point of purchase, right? That's changed from the pandemic, I suppose, and you've seen it till today, what is happening today. You were mentioning that more and more consumers just want to come into the point.
It's actually interesting. There's a stat, 2025, I think McKinsey and Company did a study on 65% of Gen Z is going back to the stores rather than online shopping for their groceries. So when you look at that specifically right there, you know that you're seeing they're already online, but they're also going to be seeing it in store. So how do you combine those to create a very consistent messaging so that when they see you again, they're not like, oh, I don't even know what this product is, but it makes sense.
And how aligned are the teams of communications, marketing, and sales in this process?
When I'm working with brands day to day, everything has to be aligned. Because, for example, if you're focusing on, I was just talking to a client this morning and they said they used to focus on vitamin D. That was the main thing that they wanted everybody to know. But when you're going into the store and you're getting a drink, you're not thinking, I have low vitamin D. I mean, maybe you are, I don't know. I'm not thinking about
the biohackers, maybe.
I'm not thinking about my vitamin D levels. So they then switch to flavor, right? But if they talk to one audience about vitamin D and they talk to another audience about flavor and then this and that, it's not consistent. So everybody has to be aligned and you have to pick one message that you're going with and then you can branch out, right? If they really want to be an electrolyte drink, then they need to think about, okay, could we get into a community that uses our drink for electrolytes, right? And then you can kind of branch out from there. But to go with one message and then to break out and branch out, that's what you have to be consistent.
Completely agree. So now we're going to end with some questions for the three of you, and hopefully go out to lunch.
Everybody's expecting that.
But what are the most overlooked touch points in communication strategy today? And what small details can make a big difference? Want to start?
Sure. So I would say in terms of communication, but also measurement, it's see beyond the last click. What's happening after that? I think it's very important because there is a lot of value and a lot of understanding that can be done at that point, but also avoid measuring only the last click. Today we're still like attributing, there are some brands that are not doing this, doing it this way, but the majority are still relying on the last click to attribute like the sale. You know, so there is a lot more than the last click. Then to be consistent. I think consistency, we've been hearing consistency here. Within the digital channel, between your upper and your lower funnel strategy, and to tie them. Because at the end, we've seen, and research shows, like a lot of benefit when you tie both strategies. And at the end, I've seen this a lot, but positivity. I think that will make your brand stand out and connect a lot with the consumer. But walk the talk. It's not only about only communicating, it's about living it and understanding the dreams of the audience.
I like to think, and I love that, specifically that positivity, bringing that aspect in. I like to think of this acronym, ETC, everything counts. So emotion beats promotion, the physical space is still sacred, and then last, connection is currency. So if you can remember those three things and tap into the aspects of where we are as a modern society, as the modern consumer, as we're walking into these spaces, and envision the people that are really purchasing your product, really see them, then you know how to help them feel whatever it is that you want them to experience. So those are my three keys.
Love it. Can I have 4?
Yeah.
For me, it's value, add value all the time, as much as you want, because you can do positive impact, you can change life, and it's not a joke, so it's related to ethics. Also to work consistently, the same word. And we don't talk about strategic partnerships, and that's the most important key. You can do strategic partnerships all the time with Pinterest, with her. I think here it's already a partnership that we can work on. So think out of the box. Because all the time brands approach me and say, oh, this is too much money. Bueno, you can be strategic and think out of the box. You can alliance to relate. Nowadays, another trend of 2025 is about that, to relate your brand to another brand with the same audience, with the same target audience, that you can do partnership together and increase your impact in your campaigns. Where we just did that in Coachella with a makeup and hair brand, and we reached more than 15 brands and more than 50 influencers, and was a big success in terms of sales, which Givenchy, for example, 8 years ago, was an old campaign. We sell three times the average of the month in one day. So it's really about the community, the impact, the real communication, and be consistently. With Givenchy, for example, I know it's a really well-known brand, but we don't work only for one day. We work all year with them. So yes, they have that day, but we're working before that day and after. So try to be consistent and try to be positive.
And to close, if you look at yourselves 20 years from now, I don't know if we're kind of the same age, but you know, what is the purpose? What do you want to leave in this world? You know, if you could tell the audience, it's a different question. Maybe one is not thinking about this, you know, but maybe you are. And I would love to know that, and I think the audience would love to know that.
So I think I already said it, so it's to live a better world, and it includes a better internet for the younger generation, specifically for my kids. I think that would be.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
I think for me, it's to help people feel less alone and to help them connect back and remember who they are, and to see the world start to lean on each other a bit more, to meet ourselves in these moments, to accept people for who they are, and to trust that we're doing the best that we can.
I love that. And I really encourage the JOMO, the joy of missing out. So I live with a digital platform, I born in digital, but I really like the real connections. Go to the nature, talk with your neighbor, talk with your friend. That's why for me, the strategies always have to have an offline side, a real connection, to touch, to talk, to listen. People want to be listened. People want to be loved. I think that's the main conclusion for me. So in 20 years, I think you're going to be, you have the willing to turn off your phone. Don't forget that. You can turn off your phone, you can read a book, you can be missing out and enjoy a lot. So the responsibility of our side is to know that. Me as a media, I don't like to be all the time trying to catch the attention. I'm really responsible in my position to be responsible with the time also with the others. So I bring something that, like a fast channel, you can see whenever you want. If you don't want to see it, it's okay, but when you see us, you're going to have positive content and you're going to feel great.
And I think we're all getting more conscious about all of this, so hopefully it works out that way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great job.
Roberto,
And now the lunch.
And I think
Done?
maybe we have a couple of questions.
Questions?
Yes.
one question.
Question? Okay.
So, since yesterday, we've been hearing a lot about emerging brands, and most of those emerging brands are led by influencers. Do you think the success of those influencer brands and those emerging brands is because they're connecting with the consumers on a more human level by creating a community? And in this FMG, well, consume as you, in this market, how can the traditional brands compete with these new emerging brands led by influencers?
Yes, for sure. So all the time, you as a brand, you have to develop your own community, because at the end of the day, they're going to come back to you and be loyal forever. They're going to be your first promoters. And for me, if I am the brand, it's so cool to be partnered with different communities all the time, because at the end, you're going to develop your own community. But for that, you have to be really aligned with your values, your purpose, what you want to do, who I'm going to talk, I'm going to do positive campaigns or not. I work with major brands, and now they are changing a lot their goals. I told you yesterday I was with Neutrogena, and they're doing like a small event with 10 people and bringing like a survivor of cancer and trying to really do impact connection and meaningful connection. And yesterday, one of the VPs of Neutrogena said, in 11 years, this is the most impactful event that they already had. And it wasn't a small one. We were invited to listen a cancer survivor. It was a real connection. And I think this is not the trend. This is human connection. This is authentic. This is realness, honest. So if you're going to be honest, that's going to be the key for your strategy. And you have to be looking for campaigns that help you to add value and reach your goals.
And something I see more and more is that if I'm scrolling and I see a really big influencer promoting something, I'm like, right? I'm a little skeptical.
Another one.
Naturally. So to be able to see someone that maybe looks just like me, that doesn't have a ton of engagement, but it feels real and authentic, I'm much more willing to listen, and I'm much more trusting to want to explore whatever they may be sharing about. So it's similar to the smaller events, to the micro influencers, to wanting to listen to people that remind you and spark something in you that maybe you forgot or you haven't seen in a while.
And what happens in the smallest event? You don't only save money, but you can have a real connection with the people you invite. If you haven't, like they used to do the biggest brand, like 1,000, I don't know, 1,000 of people in one event, you're not going to talk to everyone. You're not going to handle the message very well. So the trend is that, to be like a real connection and smaller.
And do not forget that it's also about the content, not only the celebrity or the influencer. The content is super important. Make sure that everything at the beginning is aligned. We were talking about this before. Alignment and understanding the objectives is super important, and then it will lead to great content.
And another thing I'm going to forget, there's also a trend that is not only that super high professional content. I'm obsessed because I come from TV to the professional content like cinema, video, series, but biggest brands a big campaign with a phone and could sell a lot.
Well, great. Thank you so much.
You.
That
Thank
was
you.
So good.